Seconds Out, Ayman Khan here with boxers Ben Shalom. Ben, good to see you. You're looking well. How you doing?
Very well. Good to be back. Obviously, Eubank Smith was incredible high, incredible night, and now we're back to it. February the 11th, Azim against Santos Reyes in a great card as well.
Last time I spoke to you, we kind of left off with saying that Adam's going to be someone who's going to be difficult to matchmake. Was it?
It's been ridiculous. Look, I understand why fighters don't want to fight Azim. I understand it. I understand why British fighters in particular, up and coming, or fighters looking for more opportunities. But it's frustrating. We've offered 3 or 4 times purses to British fighters, but it's not going to stop Adam moving. We want to be fighting for a European title in September, October. We want to be discussing this time next year the world scene. So we've got to move quickly. We want to go through the rankings. We've brought on over Santos, WBA Latin champion, defended it as well, and unbeaten. And again, it's the toughest test we could put Adam in with at this point. We want to find fighters that want to come and win, that aren't overawed by Azim, that aren't overawed by the hype in this country. Sometimes that means we have to look further afield, and it's a dangerous fight because we're having to get over fighters that really we don't know too much about. What we do know is he's durable. What we do know is he's well schooled. What we do know is he's full time and he takes it very, very seriously. And this is his big moment to come over to the UK on a headline show against Azim.
Caroline Dubois, superstar. She's got Abelaneda, who we've seen on these shows before, fight Terry Harper. Good step up for her.
Yeah, I really think that it's crazy to see this, but we've got Adam and Caroline in the same gym. I think they're both on similar journeys. Caroline, for me, is unbelievable potential to be the face of the women's sport. I really truly believe that. I think we saw that last year. It just get better and better and better inside and outside the ring, and I think in 18 months time I think you'll struggle to get into this gym. I think they're going to be that big as superstars in the same gym. It's incredible to see. I know there's healthy competition around who can win a world title first, and they both want to break records. It's special, really special.
Moving away from this, you mentioned Eubank Jr. versus Liam Smith. Callis Howland and his promotional team, Eubank Jr.'s promotional team, are pursuing an appeal. How viable do you think that appeal will be, considering their complaint is what is a perceived elbow leading to the finish of the fight?
It's ridiculous. It's when I first saw it, I laughed. But I think, look, Liam Smith's win was conclusive that night. It was a combination that knocked him out, and it was something that he worked on and worked for. It's a shame that we're talking about that. For me, it's stupid that we're talking about that. But ultimately, it's Eubank Jr.'s decision, or it's Callis Howland's decision. We'll see what comes from it. We all know it was nothing to do with an elbow, and let's see what happens next.
Do you feel we're heading towards that rematch, and will it be Anfield?
I'm hearing rumours, murmurs from camps that he wants to take that rematch, but he's got 2 weeks to do it. And I sat down with Liam, and Liam in an ideal world wants that Golovkin fight. Ultimately, he respects the fact that Eubank's got 2 weeks to decide whether he wants a rematch. We can't move beyond that. Anfield's difficult in the sense that they're getting the new stand, so the only possibility that I think is a possibility is that end of May, last Premier League weekend, which is what we're looking at. But we can't look beyond Eubank right now.
You mentioned Golovkin, so if it's not Eubank Jr. from Liam Smith, you'll be targeting the Golovkin fight.
There's 3 names on his mind: Eubank, Brook and Golovkin. Look, he wants the biggest fights. He feels better than ever. He feels in his prime. He feels like he now can cement his legacy. Some fighters retire with all the potential in the world, and yes, a world champion, but never having those sort of moments that broke into the mainstream, and he got that in January. He wants to continue that. He feels very, very good. He wants 3 more fights, and he wants the biggest names possible. But it's frustrating a little bit because we want to get on with it, but we have to wait to see what Eubank does in the next 2 weeks, and they'll have their own reasons. I know Eubank's a proud man. I feel like people jumping on him are just for losing a fight against a top quality fighter. Yes, he did not have his best night by any means, but I think he'll come again. But let's see whether he wants the rematch or not.
Mentioning Kell Brook, their video was put out online. It's seen Kell not the best of states. Have you spoke to Kell since that video has been put out?
Yeah, look, I did send him a message because I feel sorry for him, because we know that he said himself he's struggling for direction at the end of his career, but the society now just seems intent on dragging people down. And I think anyone that films that in his own house and then feels the need to sell it or whatever and put it out, and then the people that then there's just so much hate and there's so much don't like it, because Kel has achieved so much in the sport, should be revered, and I felt very sorry for him. I'm not condoning it, but I just think human nature sometimes is not very nice.
Another contentious point is conversation was put out there between yourself and Billy Joe Saunders. I wonder what you felt when you saw that put out.
Look, been in boxing a while now, nothing surprises me anymore. I think any comment's not going to be helpful, but yeah, nothing surprises me anymore.
You're very welcome to no comment this, but I wonder, does that make you want to maybe not work with Billy Joe Saunders after that was put out?
Look, I think if you hold grudges in this sport, you'd end up being... I don't want to become a bitter promoter or a bitter guy. I have hundreds of conversations with boxers every day and different guys. I don't hold grudges. We do what's best for our business and what's best for our partner and everything like that. So never hold grudges, but again, nothing surprises me. But yeah, no comment's going to be helpful.
Fair enough. Taylor Catchall, it's not happening. Josh Taylor has to provide proof of his injury there. What's the latest with Taylor Catchall?
So frustrating, because that was the fight that we've been trying for 12 months, and then we get it over the line after so many obstacles. And then Josh, we were about to announce it on Eubank Smith on the night in that Manchester Arena. It would have been incredible. Okoli was going to be chief support, and then Taylor gets an injury. I was told at the weigh-in it was gutting on what was otherwise an unbelievable week. Feel for Jack. He was out for a year before when he stepped aside for the unification. It was against Ramirez, and then waited, and then got his time against Josh Taylor, and then been out another year. I think he's fought once in 2 years. We've got to get on with his career. We hope Josh will be fit very soon. I feel for him as well, but we don't know yet exactly how he's going to recover. So Jack will be out in March, and we're going to move on, and then we'll assess it after March. I want to make that fight as soon as possible. We had it for March the 4th. It would be happening in a few weeks. It would have been one of the biggest rematches in British boxing history. It was a fight that everyone wanted to see and boxing wanted to see, and it just feels like it's cursed. But yeah, fingers crossed that Josh recovers quickly, and thinking about him as well.
That was penciled in as a Sky Sports pay-per-view. Is there a need now to maybe source another fight to maybe put on a pay-per-view?
No, we want to do as little pay-per-views as possible. Let's make that clear. We tried on Eubank Smith. We don't want to do pay-per-views where we can avoid it, but some fights demand it because of the purses. And Eubank Smith was a huge success, and it was a huge night for Liam Smith, and we delivered possibly his biggest night of his career because of how big it was, and an amazing card, and 20,000 people in an arena from 7:30 p.m. Unless we can put on the big nights in this country, then we're not going to get that. That was a special night for British boxing. It's been a great start to the year, but we got pressure not to do pay-per-views, not pressure to do pay-per-views, and yes, occasions we're going to have to.
And what's the latest with Lawrence Okoli?
He's going to fight. We're going to reschedule that fight, March or April, early April latest, and we can get on with it and get him out and get on with his career. Delighted to be able to, and we're going to announce that properly in the next week or two. It's been frustrating for him. You talk about fighters that have been out a while. He's been out since last February. He needs to get on with it now. He wants to unify. He wants to cement his legacy as the best cruiserweight in the world, and he's got a massive future ahead. Can't wait to get going.
Michael Hunter told me that he's agreed to fight Joe Parker.
You know what? We were trying to make that fight for the Eubank Smith card. Look, I like that fight. I'd like to see that fight. I'm a big fan of Michael and Joseph, obviously. So, look, I like that fight. If we can get it on and it makes sense and the right terms, then we get that on, no problem.
Joshua Watson currently stands as a free agent there. Be a good signing for anyone.
He would. Another guy. I mean, how many fighters aren't active enough? It's fucking frustrating, man, because he had all the talent in the world. I remember when he turned over, just thinking this guy's a freak, and he's not shown any signs of not being that good, not fulfilling his potential. But he's just not fought enough. It's going to come down to money, I think, at his stage of his career. He's a fantastic fighter. I'm a huge fan of Mr. Boatsi. And he, as you say, he's a free agent. And he'll make the decision probably that's best for him. Yeah, we've got a lot of fighters now, so it's not like when we at the start where it was just like we'll take anyone and everyone. We're at a point now where it's we've got to deliver. We don't want unhappy fighters. We want the fighters that sign with us to have everything: activity, support, go right to the top. We don't want to be stuck with fighters that don't feel that they've been active enough, and so we have to focus on them at the moment.
Last year was about putting Boxer out. This year it seems it's about establishing Boxer as the number one. Where do you feel that Boxer stand amongst the current promotional outfits in the UK?
I don't like saying it because why do you compare the promoters? It makes it so difficult to do business. I actually was on the phone to George last night trying to make sure we don't clash on the fucking on a show. Look, we're looking at we've got a good relationship. I think we should keep good relationships, and the biggest fights will happen. Look, I'm not going to answer who I think is there, but I think sometimes we don't get enough credit given we had to start with nothing 12 months ago, and we still are considered we're still competing at the top level. I think this year is going to be even stronger than next year, but it's not about which promoter is winning. I think it's about what fights are getting made. Is the sport winning? We've had boxing's had a great start to the year. We got to see Eubank Smith, one of the biggest cards that we'd ever put on, and then we got to see Yard Beterbiev the week after, and that's January. So it looks good for the year.
Final two questions from me, Ben. First of all, Adam sorely missed here. Have you spoke to Adam Smith since his absence?
Look, Adam Smith, I have absolute nothing but good words to say. He was amazing for me that first 12 months. I miss him. He had personal issues were sort out. He wanted to sort out. We will see him back. I miss him dearly. I think he's done so much for the sport. Again, sometimes boxing can be a cruel place online and this and that. 30 years he dedicated to Sky, and the nights and everything that we're doing now is the foundations that he helped put in place. And look, I hope he sorts his things out, and I'm sure we're going to see him back on screens and as the famous commentator that we all know and love very soon.
Question. A lot of people are looking at the Conor Benn situation. It seems like the WBC are moving towards a direction where they're going to clear him in terms of his legal case and and he may be fighting again soon. What's your thoughts on that situation?
I think it's a joke. There's not many things I want to have too much of an opinion on, because again, our job is just to make fights, but that is the one thing that any governing body or any authority has to be able to be extremely strong on. And if there's loopholes and ways to go around it in other countries, it should be illegal to get in a ring with another man if you've not been cleared of something. I'm not saying anything around whether it's this or whether it's that. That's not my job. Unless you've been properly cleared by the proper sanctioning body, an organisation, it should be illegal. So one sport that demands that, and I don't understand why it's not being taken more seriously by other people in the sport. Do it properly. No one's got an agenda. Everyone's just worried about how it makes the sport look, and we've made mistakes, and we have to look at this, and you have to sometimes take a step back. How does this look for the sport? Not good, and also just not good in general. I don't understand the casual approach to it at all.
Ben, great conversation with you. Thank you for speaking to SecondsOut. Much appreciated.